Stop. Listen carefully. The second day of the year is not a continuation. It is a decision point. January 2nd carries a quieter power than January 1st, yet it shapes everything that follows. The reset has already occurred. Now energy looks for direction. Most people move forward unconsciously, repeating old patterns, unaware that this single day determines the rhythm of the entire year. I am Shi Heng Yi. In this teaching, you will learn why January 2nd responds differently than any other day, how your actions, awareness, and even subtle choices send signals to life itself, and how ancient Shaolin wisdom understood this moment as a gate, not a date. This knowledge was never meant for noise or haste. It was preserved for those willing to slow down and listen. This video reveals why intention alone is not enough, why the body must lead before the mind follows, and how unseen systems begin to cooperate when alignment is correct. Many speak of beginnings. Very few understand direction. That is the difference between effort and flow. Stay until the end, because the final teaching connects the inner state with outer movement in a way rarely explained. Missing it means missing the key that locks everything together. This is not theory. This is observation refined through discipline and time. January 2nd does not ask loudly. It waits. Those who recognize its signal move with less resistance, clearer decisions, and a steadier path forward. Those who overlook it spend months correcting course. You are here because awareness called you. Welcome to Shaolin Divine Flow. Walk with us. Subscribe and step into the year with clarity, precision, and calm strength. Before thought arises, the body already knows. Color speaks faster than language. It reaches the nervous system before logic forms an opinion. This is because color is not visual decoration. Color is vibration made visible. Every shade carries a frequency. That frequency interacts with the body's energy field instantly. Muscles soften or tense. Breath deepens or shortens. Mood shifts without explanation. The mind arrives later, searching for reasons. Ancient traditions understood this clearly. Long before modern science measured wavelengths, sages observed reactions. Monks wore specific colors, not for symbolism, but for regulation. White for clarity, saffron for discipline, earth tones for grounding. These choices were precise, not poetic. The body responds because it is honest. It cannot pretend. When a color supports harmony, the system settles. When a color disrupts balance, the system resists. This is why certain days feel heavy without cause, and others feel open and effortless. Color interacts with light, and light shapes biological rhythm. Skin absorbs, eyes transmit, cells respond. This exchange happens continuously, whether awareness is present or not. On energetically sensitive days, this response intensifies. Subtle fields become more receptive. Small inputs create larger effects. Color becomes a signal, a quiet instruction given to the body and the space around it. The mind often dismisses this as coincidence. Yet ancient healing systems, martial traditions, and spiritual lineages aligned clothing, environment, and timing with intention. They trained the body first, knowing the mind would follow. When the body feels safe, the breath steadies. When the breath steadies, awareness sharpens. This is the doorway through which clarity enters. Color does not convince, it activates. The moment fabric touches skin, the conversation begins. January 1st clears the slate. Energy withdraws, reorganizes, and becomes still. It is a pause, not a push. Many mistake this stillness for completion, yet nothing has moved forward yet. January 2nd is different. Movement returns. Subtle energy begins to circulate again, searching for direction. This is the moment when life asks a quiet question: where should this year go? The body answers before the mouth does. What you wear on this day becomes a signal, not a wish, a declaration. Energy reads readiness through action, not thought. Clothing touches the skin, and the skin speaks to the nervous system. The nervous system speaks to the field around you. On January 2nd, this exchange is amplified. The system is fresh. Patterns are not yet fixed. Small choices carry weight. The wrong signal creates hesitation. The right one creates flow. Subtle energy does not respond to force. it responds to coherence. When the body feels aligned, energy moves smoothly. When the body feels conflicted, energy scatters. This is why intention without embodiment fails. Ancient calendars marked this day carefully. It was seen as activation, not celebration. Silence was favored. Simplicity was honored. Actions were slow and deliberate. Nothing excessive, nothing careless. Wearing the right color on this day does not create magic. It removes interference. It allows the natural intelligence of the system to function without resistance. This is why some people feel calm confidence early in the year, while others feel restless without reason. The difference is not motivation, it is alignment. The field around you watches how you begin to move. It listens to how you present yourself. It responds to whether you are prepared or reactive. January 2nd does not demand effort. It requests clarity. When the signal is clear, energy commits. A spiritual door is not an object, it is a state. Nothing needs to be pushed or chased, because doors in the unseen world open only when resistance disappears. Force creates tension, tension creates noise, and noise blocks clarity. Alignment is silent, and when the inner state matches the outer signal, energy flows naturally. This is why effort often fails where alignment succeeds. Color supports this process because it organizes the body before the mind interferes. The moment a color touches the skin, posture shifts, breathing adjusts, and the nervous system responds. These changes are subtle, yet they reshape the internal environment. When the body settles into coherence, the energetic field around it follows. And this is how doors open, not suddenly, but smoothly. The unseen does not respond to desire alone. Desire without structure scatters energy. Alignment gives it form. Color provides this structure in a physical, effortless way. When the body feels supported, awareness stabilizes, decisions feel lighter, and reactions soften. This calm readiness is the signal that the door recognizes. People often expect dramatic signs, yet alignment reveals itself quietly. A conversation appears at the right time. A decision becomes clear without struggle. A sense of being guided replaces urgency. This is not chance, it is response. Color does not command the door to open. It communicates permission. It signals that the system is organized enough to receive what is already moving closer. On days of activation, subtle systems become highly sensitive, responding to the smallest signals. When the signal is unclear, the door waits. When the signal is precise, the door yields. Simplicity works because it removes interference. No elaborate rituals are needed. When the body is calm and the breath is steady, the door recognizes alignment and opens without effort. There is one color that brings order where the system feels scattered. It does not stimulate or suppress. It calms chaos and allows intention to settle into a clear shape. On January 2nd, when energy begins to move again, this stabilizing quality becomes essential. That color is white. White carries neutrality, yet within that neutrality exists strength. It reflects rather than absorbs, allowing the body to breathe energetically. When worn on January 2nd, white quiets internal noise and prevents the mind from pulling energy in too many directions. Intention becomes steady, not urgent. Focus becomes natural, not forced. This stability is what unseen systems respond to. Support does not arrive where confusion dominates. It moves toward clarity. White signals readiness without pressure. It says the body is open, the breath is free, and the internal rhythm is balanced. Ancient practitioners used white during transitions, not endings. It was worn when crossing thresholds, beginning training, or entering periods of refinement. They understood that beginnings require openness, not intensity. White creates that openness. When the body is wrapped in this frequency, reactions soften, the nervous system relaxes, decisions arise from stillness instead of anxiety. This calm attracts cooperation from life rather than resistance. Support arrives subtly, not as sudden miracles, but as reduced friction. Delays ease, interactions flow more smoothly, thoughts align instead of compete. These are signs that the field has responded. White also amplifies awareness. It makes distractions more visible and encourages presence. This presence strengthens intuition, allowing guidance to surface without effort. On January 2nd, energy is listening closely. White does not shout. It speaks clearly. It creates a stable foundation on which the rest of the year begins to build. White speaks before words. It communicates without sound, without effort. The moment it touches the body, it sends a message to the energy around you. I am grounded. Stability radiates from within. The body feels anchored, the breath deepens, and subtle nervous tension eases. This grounding signals to life that you are ready to stand firm, to receive without being scattered. It also says, I am open. Openness is not weakness. It is clarity without obstruction. White creates a field of receptivity. Obstacles that normally block perception become less rigid. Opportunities that often pass unnoticed now appear. The mind does not grasp at outcomes. Instead, the system aligns naturally with the flow already present. The field senses readiness and response. White further communicates, I am prepared. Preparation is not planning. It is alignment of body, mind, and energy. When the signal is clear, life knows you can receive without resistance. Doors that normally require effort to open recognize coherence and yield. Small interactions, conversations, and decisions carry the weight of this readiness, moving in harmony rather than friction. This color does more than indicate mood or style. It instructs energy. It organizes vibrations around the body, allowing subtle forces to act in your favor. People may feel drawn to you without knowing why. Situations unfold quietly, yet unmistakably, as though the system itself acknowledges your presence. White on this day removes interference. It does not push or demand. It invites, it aligns, it steadies. In wearing it, the body becomes a signal, and the field responds naturally, recognizing clarity, openness, and preparedness. The unseen begins to cooperate, and subtle guidance flows with ease. On January 2nd, this communication matters more than intention alone. Life notices coherence. Doors respond to clarity. Presence becomes a language, and White speaks fluently. The moment White touches the body on January 2nd, subtle shifts begin. You may not notice them immediately, but the energy around you starts to realign. The nervous system relaxes, tension dissolves, and a quiet steadiness replaces scattered restlessness. The body feels lighter, yet rooted. The mind feels sharper, yet calm. Conversations change. Words flow more easily. Misunderstandings that might have arisen in other circumstances soften or disappear entirely. People respond differently, not because of charm or persuasion, but because your energy signals clarity and openness. The field around you mirrors your steadiness, creating a space where communication is smoother, decisions are heard, and intentions are understood without struggle. Decisions feel clearer. Options that once seemed confusing now present themselves in order. The mind no longer fights itself, and intuition speaks louder than doubt. Timing feels natural. Small choices carry the guidance of unseen systems, and momentum moves in alignment with purpose rather than friction. What once required effort now flows effortlessly. Resistance softens. Challenges do not vanish, but they meet less force. Doors that previously felt closed begin to ease. Situations that were rigid relax. Even minor obstacles appear smaller because the internal state has changed. Energy moves freely through and around you, and the world responds to that movement. This is not luck or coincidence. It is the response of the subtle system to coherence. White does not manipulate. It communicates. It does not demand. It allows. And in allowing, it aligns the body, mind, and field with the natural flow of the day. Wearing this color on January 2nd becomes a declaration without words, a quiet, powerful signal. The unseen notices. Guidance emerges naturally. Flow replaces struggle, and subtle support strengthens, often in ways that are invisible but unmistakably felt. The year begins with ease when the body speaks in harmony with the field. Not every color supports energy on January 2nd. Some shades create tension instead of flow. They do not bring danger, but they anchor the system in resistance. Dark reds, heavy blacks, and overly bright, aggressive tones pull attention outward, scattering subtle energy before it can settle. Timing matters more than preference on this day, because the field is sensitive and responsive. Colors that block flow do not close doors permanently. Energy is not rigid. These hues can work on other days when activation is not required, or when the system is prepared to handle intensity. January 2nd is a threshold. It responds to coherence, simplicity, and calm. Anything that forces the system to react, interrupts alignment, and slows movement. Wearing heavy colors signals tension. Even if intention is pure, the body stiffens. Breath shortens. Subtle resistance forms in places you cannot see or name. Conversations feel heavier. Decisions require more effort. The field responds to the vibration, and guidance slows until alignment returns. This is why simplicity and lightness matter. The right signal allows readiness to show. The wrong signal creates friction. Even small details, patterns, contrast, or excess weight in clothing carry subtle frequency. The body registers it, and the energy field mirrors that vibration. Ancient traditions emphasized matching action with energy cycles. Timing was honored. On transitional days, clarity and neutrality supported the system. Intensity was saved for movement, challenge, or ritual. The principle is the same today. January 2nd is a day for subtle coherence, not stimulation. Avoiding disruptive colors does not mean restriction. It means choosing wisely for alignment. It means letting the body and the field communicate without interference. The system responds to harmony, and energy moves freely when signals are clear. What you wear shapes the first steps of the year, and even small misalignments can ripple forward. Choosing wisely ensures that subtle energy works with you, not against you, from the very first movement after the reset. Wearing the right color is not about ceremony. January 2nd does not require ritual or complexity. It asks for simplicity, presence, and awareness. The moment white touches the skin, the conversation begins. How it is worn matters more than adornment or style. Clean intention is the foundation. It is not about thinking too much or forcing outcomes. It is about choosing consciously and allowing the body to settle into that choice. The mind follows what the body signals. The energy field listens to what is embodied, not what is imagined. When intention is clear, the system aligns naturally. Presence deepens the effect. Stand quietly, breathe fully, move with awareness. Let the body feel the color, not just wear it. White invites stillness, and the stillness allows subtle energy to circulate without interruption. Attention to the moment enhances the vibration of the color, making alignment effortless. Simplicity magnifies impact. Avoid excessive layers, patterns, or adornments that distract from the signal. The color's energy works best when it communicates directly through touch and proximity. Less interference means the field responds more fully. Even small distractions dilute the coherence the day requires. It is not about perfection, it is about clarity. Clean clothes, calm breath, and steady presence are enough. The field does not need theatrics, it needs honesty. The body does not need force, it needs readiness. When these elements come together, subtle shifts occur automatically. The color becomes a living signal. It aligns posture, calms the nervous system, and stabilizes thought. It communicates to the unseen that you are grounded, open, and prepared. Subtle doors begin to respond. Timing improves, and flow replaces resistance. January 2nd is activated not by effort, but by coherence. The way the color is worn, simply, consciously, and fully present, allows the system to work in harmony with the subtle currents around it. The color alone does not carry the full power. It works deeper when paired with inner alignment. Stillness is the key. Stand or sit quietly and allow the body to feel the color against the skin. Let it settle into your awareness. In this silence, subtle shifts begin to ripple through the system. Breath matters more than posture or effort. A slow, steady inhale, followed by a calm exhale, communicates readiness to the body and the surrounding field. Each breath signals openness and coherence. The nervous system responds. The mind softens, and energy begins to flow in alignment with intention. Breath becomes a bridge between the visible and the unseen, allowing the color to fully express its frequency. Awareness is the final piece. Simply noticing your state, observing tension, or softening resistance amplifies the effect. Awareness does not force or control. It witnesses. It allows the subtle field to respond naturally. When attention is present, even small movements or gestures carry clarity. The energy that would otherwise scatter now organizes itself effortlessly. Inner alignment transforms wearing the color from a physical act into a full energetic practice. The body becomes a signal, the mind becomes calm, and the field begins to move in harmony with your presence. Subtle doors open because coherence has been established. Guidance arrives not as demand but as invitation. This alignment is quiet. It does not shout. It does not dramatize. It simply communicates readiness. The body, the breath, and the field resonate together, creating a channel through which clarity, flow, and support can enter. On January 2nd, when energy is freshly moving, this inner alignment amplifies everything. The color becomes more than clothing. It becomes a living extension of intention. Stillness, breath, and awareness transform simple white into a signal that opens doors, clears resistance, and invites subtle support with effortless grace. When the door begins to open, it does not announce itself with fanfare. Calm replaces urgency. The nervous system settles, and the feeling of rushing or forcing fades. Even in moments that once felt chaotic, a sense of ease emerges, as though the world itself has shifted to meet your steadiness. Opportunities appear quietly. They may not arrive in dramatic bursts, but small alignments begin to show. Conversations flow with clarity. Decisions that once felt heavy now feel natural. Encounters and interactions carry subtle hints of guidance. The timing of events feels effortless, and the right people or resources enter the space without struggle. Life begins to move around you in harmony, responding to the signal of readiness you are sending. Inner confidence strengthens. It is not arrogance or assertion, but a quiet knowing that comes from alignment. You no longer feel the need to push or manipulate outcomes. The body, the breath, and the field are working together. A subtle trust develops, one that allows you to act decisively without tension, to respond instead of react, and to move forward with clarity instead of hesitation. Signs of the door opening are often gentle. A feeling of support in choices, a sudden clarity in thought, or the soft easing of previously persistent obstacles all indicate that the field has recognized coherence. The body feels lighter, the mind feels sharper, and energy flows more smoothly. These signs do not demand recognition, but awareness enhances them. Noticing the subtle shifts reinforces alignment, creating a cycle of readiness and response. Calm, opportunity, and confidence reinforce each other, building momentum that extends beyond the day itself. On January 2nd, these indicators confirm that the color, the presence, and the alignment are communicating successfully. The door responds to coherence, not force. The field is listening, and life begins to move in quiet, undeniable alignment with your readiness, signaling that the first step of the year is unfolding with subtle grace. January 2nd is not just a date. It is a choice, a movement, a signal to life that you are ready, grounded, and present. Every detail matters. The color you wear, the calm you carry, the breath you take. These are not trivial acts. They are invitations for alignment, guidance, and subtle support to enter your year with ease. White does not demand. It allows, it steadies the nervous system, clears the mind, and opens space for clarity. When you wear it, you are telling the world and yourself that you are prepared to move forward without resistance, to receive without pushing, and to step into opportunity with quiet confidence. Avoid heaviness, distraction, and tension. Let simplicity, presence, and stillness guide your first movements of the year. The body listens. The field responds. Subtle doors open. Opportunities appear, and clarity becomes your natural companion. January 2nd does not wait. It responds to coherence. It notices alignment. Your choices today ripple into the days ahead. Begin with awareness. Stand grounded, breathe deeply, and let the energy of the year flow through you with grace. If this teaching spoke to you, like the video and subscribe to Shaolin Divine Flow for more guidance on stepping into life with precision, calm, and subtle power. Walk into this year with intention. Step gently, move clearly, and trust that the doors are already opening for you.